eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Season's greetings start at the Garden Restaurant. Our fall menu and delicious food captures the essence of the holidays ahead. Stop in or order online for pickup. Have you tried our favorited jalapeno pork sandwich yet? It's perfectly balanced with sweet and spice and enough to satisfy any craving. Now let's talk turkey. The Turkey Club and turkey cranberry sandwiches are delicious, and of course the fan fave, the turkey pot pie is prepped daily and loaded with chunks of tender meat, veggies drenched in a rich, creamy sauce hugged by a flaky, buttery crust. But that's not all. Home-cooked, handmade baking is our standard. What's more aromatic than baked goods? From giant cinnamon rolls, cookies, bars, and our famous warm, buttery Limehouse rolls. Our chefs prep each little item with a little something that makes the garden so unique. It's fresh ingredients sprinkled with genuine TLC in every bite. Celebrate your season with us. The Garden Restaurant. Visit us at thegardenslc.com.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah State men's basketball team hosts Montana State on 97.5 The Zone. And as soon as that ends, we'll go right into the Utah Mammoth in St. Louis to play the Blues at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, the Utah Jazz host the Houston Rockets at 1 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. The Raiders and Chargers play at 2:25 on 1280 The Zone. And if you want to hear your company's name here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
For nearly 70 years, Les Olson IT has been the trusted name for businesses. From state-of-the-art printers and copiers to managed IT services, we have the solutions you need to stay ahead in today's world. And now Les Olson IT is trusted and licensed in Utah for security systems, for technology that helps you work smarter. Les Olson IT, providing solutions that empower your business.
Les Olson IT.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colbert, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, special edition of College Football Saturday. We got a BYU pregame show. Cougars set to kick off against UCF coming up in just over an hour at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. 11 a.m. kickoff to wrap up the regular season for the Cougs, who, by the way, have clinched their spot in the Big 12 Championship in Arlington. They will be taking on Texas Tech, no matter what happens today, win or loss. That is the set matchup for the Big 12 Championship. I'm Christian Esparza. Alex Napoles with me. Alex Kirry will be joining soon as well. He is live from the stadium. We'll get to him shortly. But Utah played yesterday. They lost. We will get into that game after this BYU pregame show. Right now, we're going all Cougs. Alex, how are you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling good. First and foremost, I think obviously the most important thing is that BYU now has that spot clinched. Coming back from where they were last season, right? Just barely missing out on an appearance in a Big 12 championship game after those losses to Kansas and Arizona State late in the season. You have a late loss here against the team that you're going to play in that championship game, but that's okay because you finished the season strong. You clinch your spot. Now you have a chance to head down to Arlington and fight for a Big 12 championship. You have that rematch at Texas Tech, which I think everybody in that locker room wants, another swing at those guys. But first and foremost, take care of business here at home. I think the good news about clinching now is that we were talking about it a little bit and I've heard the conversation throughout the week, right? Guys like Chase Roberts who were a little banged up. Now maybe you don't have to rely on those guys, and they can it is senior night, but maybe those guys can now take a back seat as they prepare for what's to come next week.
The final availability reports just came out. Couple big names remain out. Max Alford, Sione Moa, Waylon Lapuaho still out. Anisi Purcell out. Game time decision, Chase Roberts.
Yeah.
That's the big one. Tavion Beasley, DB, is also a game time decision, but obviously Roberts' status up in the air. And if you know that your future is, already certain, you don't have to rely on Chase Roberts. Maybe it is best to sit him. We will see what happens. But I think the most important thing for BYU to remember in this one, and to kind of take note in this one, I mean, even though it doesn't matter technically if they lose, you still obviously want to win. It's senior night. It's a big deal. So look at what happened to Utah yesterday, right? Utah was supposed to roll Kansas. It was not supposed to be a close game. And
right.
Again, we will break down that game more. But my point being, UCF is 5-6, as was Kansas going into that game. They're a dangerous team looking to get the 6th win. And obviously there's a reason that they're not to 6 wins yet. But I want them to not take this opponent lightly. I want them to take this opponent seriously.
Yes.
It's the dangerous dog thing, right? They have something to play for left in this season. So that is an important emphasis for BYU in this one. You gotta go out there and play. Just because you're going to make the title game, you don't want to sleepwalk through this one. You still got a whole game left to play, your 12th regular game of the season, and it is a big deal. So confident in the Cougs, playing at home as always. 11 a.m. kick is nice. It's better than 10. It's not as early, but it's going to be a nice day in Provo, and I think these Cougs are going to wake up for this one.
I think they will as well. It's going to be a fun matchup down there at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. We'll see how the weather holds up. There was potentially some snow in the forecast, but it looks like that's cleared up. So no snow for the Knights tonight.
Speaking of Lavelle Edwards Stadium, our guy Alex Kirry joining us live on location. You can check out the stream on YouTube on KSLSports.com. Alex, what's the vibe from the stadium up there an hour before kick?
What's up, fellas? Yeah, it's cold for sure, and so you're seeing, which is kind of funny. It's like the first cold weather game, right, of the year, I guess, for people who are rolling up here. It certainly is. UCF fans I've seen like walking in here, and they're wearing friggin' it's Sundance Film Festival parkas. Like it might as well be negative 25 degrees here at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. It's cold though. When you sit around for 4 hours on those metal benches, it's not an easy one. So we'll see if everybody can get through it. But yeah, I was interested to see what this is going to look like from. I'm pretty sure this is a sellout, but I wanted to see if people are going to be here, because if it mattered that, they said they clinched obviously after Arizona State lost last night. I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of a hit on the attendance here because it's cold and they've already clinched. I don't see why it would necessarily be that way, but it was a lot lighter coming in than normal. That might be just because of the function of it being early and it's not like a normal traffic day. You're not fighting against like normal crowds on the road. So, but people are like ecstatic walking around. They're super excited for this whole thing. They keep putting up the Big 12 standings. And I think for BYU fans, it's kind of funny because just as important as being right there behind Texas Tech and being able to play against them in the Big 12 championship game is that Utah's below them in the standings. Like that is
officially,
honestly, that's been like what's been huge for people, watching not just BYU have a good year. I mean, what's crazy, I was talking to my boys about this last night, and they're like, so does that mean the Utah kind of stinks? And I was like, I mean, there's a little kid talk, when they're talking about football, and they're like, yeah, they kind of stink. They should have blown out Kansas. I'm like, you guys have been watching the committee too much, man. And I was like, you guys, BYU and Utah right now they could combine for 21 regular season wins between the two teams. Like, that's insane. Think about how wild that is compared to with what our thoughts were going to be after the Jake Retzlaff news in the summer, and then just trying to go through that whole quarterback battle and getting the to the 10 win category already again. I was trying to have this. I was actually talking about this with one of my buddies who was. I said, okay, so where would this stack up as a season if they're able to get to the Big 12 championship game? I mean, they're there, but they get to the Big 12 championship game. Let's say they win that one and they're 12-1 on the year, and they go to the college football playoff. That would, I think, I mean, it would automatically bump itself up to probably the second best season in the history of BYU football. We're talking, almost 100 years of playing ball, and this would be the second best year. Think about like the context of that. You're talking about the only reason the national championship is there is because they didn't have big power conferences. And I think you could argue also the national championship is obviously the pinnacle, but it was different and it felt different. And I think you have to do more, in these for this time frame in the world of college football. This would be, and to imagine a true freshman doing it, like at quarterback, all of it is wild to consider where they're at. But yeah, I mean, same thing with Utah. They have, like, I think what people would consider kind of year at the end of it, because it ended in a little bit of a fizzle just because it wasn't a super dominant game against Kansas. But they're still 10-2. They have the possibility of going 11-2. I can't imagine they wouldn't go 11-2, whatever bowl game they go to, considering that might be Kyle Whittingham's last, even if it's not. They want to send him, at least the idea of sending him out with that 11th win. But I mean, could you imagine these two teams having the years that they are? Only the second year in the Big 12 for Utah, the third year for BYU. It's going better than either program could have imagined. And Kalani, the job he's doing here, I mean, there's no wonder why people whisper about his name with other jobs. I don't think he's whispering about it with other jobs. I think he wants to be here. But why wouldn't you take a swing at a guy who can be at a place that you have to be 30% better than? You just don't get the recruiting classes, right? That other people do. You'll never win that recruiting battle. BYU will win a lot of those recruiting things on individual basis, but this isn't basketball. You got to put together 88 people or 105 or whatever it is now to be able to be really good. And it's just hard to bring the highest talent in. So with what they've done, what does it look like with Jay Hill in the future? What does it look like with A-Rod in the future? All these things are kind of coming, into focus today. And there's an actual football game still to be played too that I think fans want to, hopefully get. They want to see some fireworks. I mean, they literally will see fireworks, I'm sure, just because they like to shoot them off, even if it's. Although the overcast, the fireworks will actually work with this type of weather down here today. So I know that's a long-winded answer, but it's a lot. There's a ton of storylines around this whole thing, and so it's just a wild season when you reflect back on it, like where we started this thing and how we started these discussions with Utah and BYU and Utah State at the beginning of the year. All three going to bowls, all three probably overperforming what people thought they were going to. Not probably, definitely overperforming what people thought they were going to do.
And I think in the case of the BYU, just putting the season into perspective, I think that's the biggest thing is a little bit of the overachievement, because there were the doubts. I mean, we had them sure when the Jake Redstuff news came out. And now you have to turn to a true freshman quarterback, and we wanted to see how that was going to look like. And I think quickly it took us all by surprise how great Bear Bachmeier has been for this BYU team, and to be able to bounce back again after being so close to making it to that championship game last season, yet being able to bounce back the next season, being able to do the same thing this next season, even with the change at quarterback, even with the uncertainty at quarterback to start the season. I think that's the biggest, the biggest impressive thing for me is just how great Bear Bachmeier has been for this side.
Yeah, and I wonder too, like, what's crazy is it's not like he's been lights out. He's had freshman moments, and there have been games where, I mean, the last game was one of these, right? Where they go to Cincinnati, they're not asking Bear to throw for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. They're asking LJ to carry the ball 32 times for 232 yards or whatever it ended up being. And so it's interesting because you would not write this down. I mean, he's going to be the freshman of the year in the conference. He's making a run at looking. He might be an all conference quarterback. I don't know. That might be too early for that, just because he doesn't really have quarterback numbers, right? Like, you're not really looking at those things the way they do, but they get results. He gets results, man. It's interesting that BYU has made whatever adjustments every game for him to be successful in those particular games. And so it's been as impressive with what A-Rod has done with this guy. And Fesi Satake, obviously, he's one of those guys too that he dips in, and he's very, very, I mean, he's in these guys' ears, and he's the one on the sidelines, and A-Rod's up in the booth calling the plays. But that combo of A-Rod and Fesi should go down in the annals of BYU history. Of, man, remember when those guys just like cobbled together a true freshman quarterback and a little bit of a ragtag wideout group and made it happen. And that's I think what the story of the year has been that, just being able to put it together. And you can't forget the defense has just been so good when they've needed to be. I was watching that Arizona State game last night, and I just can't believe Arizona has come on, man. Like that's a really good team. And what's interesting about that is it ends up being a really, really good win for BYU, because they're probably going to go up to that 19, 18 type of a rank. And you got to make those you got to make those adjustments in your head of how that team looks compared to these other teams and stuff. But I don't know. It's just been a crazy year. Like they keep showing the standings up on the board, and when you see the order, and it's like Texas Tech, okay, that was a team we thought we had up there. BYU and Utah right there, and then Arizona, and then these teams at the very bottom are just shocking to me. Like the fact that we're still talking about Oklahoma State has not won a game in conference play in 2 years. Like that's wild, and that was a team that was in the conference championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or in the year 2022. So Bear Bachmeier is like a big part of the story because he's the quarterback at BYU. But man, the stuff that they've done as a team and as a coaching staff to get it together has just been phenomenal.
Obviously, UCF is from Central Florida, Kirry. I don't know if you knew that. A lot of people...
You can't call them Central Florida, though. You can't call them Central Florida. They get all pissy about it.
A lot of people have been making a big deal about those guys coming to play in Provo in, late November. It's going to be a cold day. Do you think that matters? Or my opinion is that it doesn't matter because of, the day and age of the transfer portal, and these kids are from all over the country right now. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It'll be cold. Like, they're not going to be...
Nobody's going to be comfortable.
Listen, no, and I was thinking that too. Actually, it's a great point, Esparza, because I was like, dude, this is like if you're Kalani, you're talking to your guys this week and you're practicing in relative cold, compared to what you've been doing. I hope they've had them outside of the indoor practice facility kind of often this week to feel that, because the reality is if they win the Big 12 championship game, what you tell the team is look, this is cold, but you know what? It's going to be 20 degrees colder if we host a playoff game. This is what if you're Kalani, this is what you're saying. You have to have this approach. You're going to be playing in this cold of weather on December 19th. If they can get that win in Arlington, they'd be hosting a playoff game. I don't think they would get a bye. I think just because it's too much of a mess up at the top of those of the college football playoff rankings. But you should tell those guys it's going to be cold here. UCF, I have no idea where their heads at. The good news is, remember last year that Utah UCF game down in Orlando was just absolute garbage for both sides. Everyone wanted it to be done, including Gus Malzahn, who at the end of the game, for all intents and purposes, walked straight off of the field onto a private jet to get the heck out of town because he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's different with Scott Frost. He's building something, and he wants 2.0 to be, I think, just as good as it was the first time around. But the cold weather, it'll affect it. The elevation and cold hits you pretty good, I think, if you're not used to any of that. But the thing that actually wears down more on these guys is, where's your head at? You're not going to ruin BYU season by any respect, but certainly BYU does want to get to their 11th win of the year. This would be, I think, the best regular season that Kalani's had. I think the 2020 year, which was fake, that was a very different situation with Zach Wilson. So I think that they're looking to do something special, and the only way they can pull it'd be lame for them to lose a game, 10-6 here, and everyone's streaming out early and then going, well, we'll see in the Big 12 championship game, because you have no idea how it's going to go. And so I would imagine they're up for this one. These guys are going to be pumped. Why wouldn't you be if you're a BYU player because you get to, this is senior day for a lot of these guys, and however that looks, UCF is probably just going to be ready to put this thing behind them. Although they have bowl eligibility on the line. I don't know how
Yeah.
much that matters. It didn't matter to Kansas yesterday. I guess to look. I mean, in the end, who knows? I mean, they played hard, but yeah, I don't know what kind of UCF team we're going to get. They're still, they struggle at quarterback, they struggle at running back, and they struggle to put anything a semblance of a run defense together, and so that could work out for BYU. I'd love to be able to. This is when you want to have a lot fewer carries by LJ on a day like today. So you want him to get that like 11 carries, 91 yards or something, and keep handing the ball off to Enoch Nawahine and see what you can get with Preston Rex and go from there. I hope Chase doesn't play. I mean, honestly, if you don't need to play him, don't play him. If he can go, then
Right.
absolutely. If it's not nearly the injury that we thought, but I don't know. You don't try to force it. You don't need to try to force it. So I think you're gonna see some version of the coaches being semi-conservative while still being aggressive with the play calling and stuff like that.
To that point too, how important is it to not be too conservative and not completely overlook this UCF team, who again is fighting for bowl eligibility while you've already clinched that spot for next week and you're thinking about next week?
Yeah. Fans are good and media is good at overlooking UCF. I mean, it's hard not to go, what do these guys even want?
Right.
It's a cold day. They're coming out 2 time zones. The reverse has been played with BYU. The players get up for these games. It's automatic, like they show up for these games the way they've been showing up. So I don't think from a conservative standpoint, Napoles, I don't think it's conservative in the sense that you go, let's hang back and just sit all of our starters and get them right for this Big 12 championship game. It's more like, all right, what is the need here? What do you need to have happen here? Do you need to have Chase Roberts taking every rep on offense? Probably not. And so if you're looking at it, and this is when you say, hey, JoJo Phillips, like you've had 3 games since you've been back, and they've all been kind of a little bit better than the other. But like, this is why Parker Kingston having a great year that he's had has been awesome, because it's been good to kind of diffuse, sort of have all that spread out. And so when you have Parker Kingston, and I think Carson Ryan has been phenomenal when they found him when he's needed to be. By the way, did I call it on the Buchanan kid yesterday or what? I told you,
Yes.
freaking guys. That guy, he's fiery too. And I thought that catch was a catch, by the way, that one on the edge with
On the
his elbow
boundary.
down. But anyway,
I know.
but Carson Ryan's huge to Bear Bachmeier's success. I think this is also a team. These teams that don't really they don't game plan for Bears, just like they'll say in practice, hey, and you got to spy him because he's going to have these little, on 3rd and 7, he's going to have these draw plays. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another to be ready for it. BYU's gotten so good. Remember at the beginning of the year, Bear was running into the back of people and couldn't find lanes very well. And they've come so far. I think you're going to see a big rushing day by Bear also, because they're going to just try to eat that clock up as much as they can. If they don't have to throw the ball 35 times, they will not do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should. So I think the original question was about taking UCF seriously. I think other people around don't do it. I don't think there's any version of that if within a potential 11-1 team, they don't get to that point without having an attitude of approaching every opponent, the same way that they do week in and week out. I mean, I know it's a very Kyle Whittingham answer, take everyone seriously, but Kalani believes it, like, and that's where we learned it from. So
Bear Bachmeier, up and down as a freshman. He's had really good highs, and then he kind of cooled off for a little bit. But how do you expect him to get going today, especially with, the potential injury to Chase Roberts, and then the cold might be a factor as far as throwing the ball because Cali kid, things like that. What do you expect? What kind of game do you expect from the Bear today?
I think, I mean, they've shocked us every game. Like they've surprised. I say shocked, no, but they've surprised us every game. Sometimes we're like, man, he doesn't really throw the ball a ton, and then he'll throw for 300 yards. And then you're like, what's going on there? I think today's more of a 15 attempt type of a game, 15 to 18 passing attempts type of a game for him. Maybe that's something totally different in mind, but I think the way you get him going, Christian, is just you let him have those RPOs, and you let him get that. He's got to get better at looking at that mesh point. There were a couple times last week when he held on to the ball when he could have handed it off, and LJ could have had 50 more yards, and so he's got to get better at reading those and reading defenses, and get him those reps with those RPOs, and let him I think Bear needs to have a big day on the ground. Get almost 100 yards for the other running backs, and get almost 100 with Bear on the ground. And I think with that, you'll be able to really chew up some clock. And if their time of possession game is anywhere near it was against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's one of the worst time of possession teams in the country, I think they're the dead last. But BYU likes to chew the clock up, and today's the kind of day to do it, so that you keep your guys on the field with less time. And if they're able to make sure that they do that, then, and you keep it to 2 scores kind of the whole time. I know that sounds simpler than it actually is. You got to get out to a 2-score lead, I think, pretty early, so that you can control the clock the rest of the way, and you can just keep your run game being the thing that they have to stop versus trying to come back. But these teams they're going to have death throws. They're going to show up, and they're going to punch BYU pretty hard, I bet, especially at the beginning. And so I'm interested to see how BYU responds to that, because I don't think this UCF team is going to roll over by any means.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then on the other side, we will continue this BYU pre-game hour of college football Saturday. So stick with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here we go again.
Joined now by Bronco Mendenhall, head coach of the Utah State Aggies.
This is the time of season where you're looking at roster retention and also recruiting. What are your thoughts on having to do all that at a time when the most important thing is charged to win the next game?
It's a really unique landscape. There's tampering, no question. It's against the rules, but the rules aren't enforced. We have 3 more games left, but players have been reached out to. There's some phantom hotline that you're supposed to be able to call where something happens, which that's just nonsense.
Phantom hotline?
Telling it like it is, as usual.
Phantom hotline.
The reality is programs with as much money as they have will take who they want in the manner that's supposed to be illegal, but not. Most are smart enough to stay one step away from a true family member. But yeah, it happens.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Attention Jazz Nation. The long wait is finally over. Mountain basketball is back and better than ever. Let's go! All tickets are on sale now, and you won't want to miss the action. Jump on the opportunity to watch your favorite players live and in person. Whether you're after season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, the Utah Jazz has got your back. There's a plan for every fan. Don't miss out. Secure your seats today and be part of the excitement all season long. Let's go! Visit UtahJazz.com today.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 801-210-6800. That's 801-210-6800.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
From sunrise tailgates to the final whistle, keep your edge with Bucked Up Energy. Zero sugar, legendary flavors, clean performance. Stop by 7-Eleven, Maverick, or Holiday Oil. Pick up your favorite Bucked Up can and stay dialed in through every Cougar touchdown. Visit your local Bucked Up retail store today or go to buckedup.com and use code ZONE to claim 20%. Bucked Up Energy. Utah born, Cougar strong. Ready when you are.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah State men's basketball team hosts Montana State on 97.5 The Zone. And as soon as that ends, we'll go right into the Utah Mammoth in St. Louis to play the Blues at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, the Utah Jazz host the Houston Rockets at 1 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. The Raiders and Chargers play at 2:25 on 1280 The Zone. And if you want to hear your company's name here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Not feeling a burger? We've got you covered. Try one of our hot ribeye, turkey, or BLT sandwiches, and you'll understand why we say JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's the BYU pregame hour. BYU getting set to kick off at home against UCF, wrapping up the regular season. Cougars looking for their 11th win of the year. That is coming up at 11, by the way. So, walking you right up to kickoff, I'm Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, Alex Kirry joining for this one. I want to emphasize it's important for BYU to wake up. No matter what UCF's record is, the last thing you want to do is embarrass yourself at home in the last game of the year by overlooking this team. Yeah. I know it's really easy to have your sights set on Arlington for that big rematch against Texas Tech, but you got a whole game to take care of before that, and I really want BYU to be ready for this one.
And I think as far as being ready for it and not letting this UCF, not overlooking this UCF team, I think just as important as being clinched and heading down to Arlington is right now this is a team who can't afford to lose footing in the standings or lose footing in the rankings. Right now, sitting at 11, they are still the first team out, and so there is still that the needing of in the back of your mind, making sure that you are positioning yourself in the eyes of the committee to maybe get some style points, to maybe have a big win at home, right? I think the committee is expecting a big win from BYU at home, and so you can't lose footing, right? You're sitting at the first team out. You can't lose footing in the rankings, and a loss to UCF will obviously put you back.
Kerry, what kind of style points are you looking for today?
Oh boy. His style points is really funny. Like
it is, especially with how much Kalani hates it.
Well, and what does it mean? Like really though, I don't know. I mean I don't know.
I think you can't have an ugly. I think you can't have an ugly win, right?
Yeah, and the standard for all the schools is like, or for all the conferences is different. Like, I mean, so for me, it's kind of funny. I think the reality of quote unquote style points needs to be, these guys coming out and making sure that no one ever thinks to themselves that this game was going to get away from them. Like that's the reality. And I mean, Utah winning last night or Utah winning yesterday, the fashion that they did, because it was a 10-point game, right? Or 10 or what was it?
It was 10. Yeah,
it was 31-21. And then people look at it and go, well, they didn't dominate the football. And you're like, well, I mean, they've done it. By the way, it's unreasonable to ask Utah to win every conference game by 35 points, which is what they were doing until last week. And so, by the way, they've won both of those games. Like all the stuff that they were asked to do, they did it. And so, style points, I think, really is just kind of making sure when you watch it, hey, they weren't even close to coming in and getting the win there. I think that's the version of it where people know, hey, you're already in the Big 12 championship game, and everyone knows it, and no coach in their right mind and no fan base and no media member thinks to themselves, well, they better blow out UCF before they get to that Big 12 championship game. You see what I'm saying? Like, that sounds weird to me, but I think the style points is that you're just in control. And if that means they win by 10 or 17, but it was never really in doubt, they give up a late touchdown, maybe that's a fun talking point in the post game. Maybe we'll be arguing about that afterward. But I think the reality is that as long as you never think to yourself, oh, UCF was in this thing late in the third quarter, uh, and even then, I don't know what the standard really should be. By the end of it, they're not going to care either. Like, Kalani says he doesn't care. I think this game really doesn't matter what you win it with. Like, I don't think you need to run away with this game at all. They very well could, but most teams show up and are pretty dang competitive in this conference. And so I would think it'd be a little bit the same today. But ask Kalani after the game, if they win by 6 or if they win by 21, he'll just go, I just want to get the win. And he's not lying about it, because they already know where they're going to be next week, which is a pretty good position to be in.
Well, you make a great point about, most of the teams in this conference are going to show up no matter what. And especially with a guy like Scott Frost, who has had really good seasons with this UCF team. He, obviously went elsewhere and then came back, but he can coach. And that's, I guess, the most dangerous part about this team, no matter what their win-loss record is you're sitting there staring an opponent in the face who that their coach is going to have them prepared and in this one at the very least. Like, I don't think they're going to come in and get the doors blown off against BYU. And maybe they do. Maybe I get proved wrong, but then, that's looking good either way. So you just got to be wary of these guys, man.
Yeah, I don't think that they, again, I think fans and media do that for other teams. They'll not take them seriously for them,
Yeah.
And I just don't,
like your kids.
I don't think there's a version. Yeah, there's no version of a team getting to 11-1 where they underestimate opponents, and especially a Kalani program that, is always trying to stay. Is it hip and humble, or is it humble and hungry? I can't remember what. Is hip and humble a store?
That's his pregame. That's his pregame ritual.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the reality is. Like, where their heads are at, we'll find out. But something tells me that you don't get to this spot where they're at to be in the position that they're at by taking people lightly, and certainly not at home.
For BYU, going back a little bit to that Cincinnati game, defensively, I thought they did a phenomenal job of bending but don't breaking. Right, they allowed Sorsby to get 300 through the air, but I think once they got to the red zone, once they got to important moments, they did a good job of slowing down that Cincinnati offense. What do we anticipate from the defensive side of the ball for BYU tonight? We've talked a lot about the offense, but now looking at the other side, what do we want to see from those guys on defense?
I think just as important to take control. Well, not just as important, probably more important to take control of this game is the defense. Like, if they're able to, I mean, like, we haven't seen a super dominant performance by the defense, and they've just been so. I say they haven't been super dominant probably for the past month, and they've been banged up. I think that Texas Tech game kind of woke everyone up a little bit to making sure that they are doing their 111th, as everybody likes to say, and making sure that they don't get eaten up, and they have the ability to be as talented as anybody in this conference. They're number 2. They have the number 2 overall defense in the conference.
Yeah.
And behind Texas Tech, who's had a ridiculous year numbers wise. And so I think that I want to see, if I'm going to see fireworks anywhere on the field, it'd be awesome. It's always fun to see the long pass. It's always fun to get a big return. It's always fun to to see a pick six, like those are things that get the crowd as into it as anything. But I would love to see. Did we already look at the last? Is Anisi Purcell? Is he going to be out, or is he still?
He's out. Yeah.
He's out. Okay. Like I think that defensive line has been really, really awesome. You think about the last few years, how the defense has been good, but the sack numbers have been not very good. And they've brought that up a ton this year. I would love to see Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker's names mentioned a bunch, just because those guys they're the crown jewel of that defense, and maybe the defensive secondary would say otherwise, but you want to see what those guys can do. And I've actually really loved. I heard Greg Wrubell the other day talking about. He's like, yeah, and who knows? Maybe with Keanu Tanavasa, with what he's going to end up doing, if he's going to end up trying to get another year. And I was like, is that a thing? I guess. I mean, nowadays you can just say, I want another year, and then NCAA is like, okay, like,
Oh yeah.
you could just be Jalen Daniels. They're like, this is a 4-year captain. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. They're like, blah blah blah, in his 7th year, and I'm like, what?
He is
of course.
eligibility wise, he is a junior, so that final year is still on the table for Tanuvasa.
Look, Tanavasa, don't go to the league. Come on, man. Like you've got a quarterback at
Run it
BYU
back,
for
man.
a minute. Yeah, listen, you're gonna, and by the way, all they're doing is bringing more and more talent in, and
Yeah.
so anyway, that's my little pitch for Keanu Tanavasa. But mostly, it's like these guys who think that they're ready for the league. Like you can punt for a minute and stay out of it because you're going to get paid to still be in college for a second. So do that, man, and see what you do. And there'll be a version of them falling short of something, I think, in the offseason or in the postseason. So, man, this defense, Christian, to answer your question, I think that the way that if they can embarrass UCF somehow today, it would be starting with them. I don't think it would be that the offense gets going so crazy. Your offense gets on the field and scores right after big turnovers and things like that. And so as the defense goes is how the offense is going to go, I think, instead of the reverse today. I'm hopeful that the defense is just at that crate when they're at a really big, like when their energy level is massive and they're out there and their heads are there, which is most games. I mean, I'm watching right now up on the screens. The seniors are walking out. They're getting their lays on, and they're hugging their families and stuff. Like those guys are jacked, man. Like this is a day that they can show off a little bit, and I hope that I don't say that for the offense. I hope the defense shows off a little bit and just shows how tough they are.
Taven Jackson, quarterback for UCF. He's a junior. Looking at his stats coming in, he's pretty average. 50.8 QBR coming into this one, less than 2,000 passing yards on the year. The big one to me is 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So statistically worse than Bear Bachmeier, who's a true freshman. I think that is going to be the key matchup in this one is how, continuing with this defensive talk, how does this defense limit Taven Jackson and keep him from putting up any points on their side of the ball? He is a big dude. He's 6'4", 212, so tall at least. He's not thick like Bear Bachmeier, but I don't know, man. UCF, I guess their offense is pretty lackluster. Their defense, they have one of the better passing defenses in the Big 12. Yeah. So it's a kind of a weird-looking team. There's not a lot of teams built like that, but I don't know. Do you think that BYU's defense will struggle today after kind of being lit up by Sorsby last week?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is they have talent. They have talent. They haven't been able to put it together like it really that much at all. They're so hit and miss from week to week when it comes to being able to. I was watching that film on them last week after I watched the Oklahoma State because they were down 14, and I was like, how on earth did that happen? And they came out and they were just flat as all get out. And I mean, they barely got the 17 points on Oklahoma State. But at the same time, they can score. And so, I mean, ask Utah, people who played Oklahoma State the week previously, that was Kansas State the week before last week, and they scored 14 against Oklahoma State, and then I think they had 14 in the first 2.5 minutes against Utah, and we saw how like the outpouring can go. These teams are all talented. I think the thing that Jackson has is that he just still can't see he's not processing defenses, which is a nightmare, I think, for Jay Hill defense. He's not processing the defensive backfield coverages pre-snap. So he doesn't, like, really, really good quarterbacks will tell you what they see and they'll tell you what they're going to do. And then and they'll call it out. And then the defense will kind of give a counter call. When you see these things happen, it's happening really quickly and it's happening pre-snap, and they'll make changes on the fly. And I don't think he is there yet. You know what I mean? So BYU is going to be able to call a game that they want. I don't think, I mean, he's not the kind of guy that, I mean, Sorsby's a savvy dude, you know, and he even had a struggle a little bit. And so, this defense is too good to, I think, let a guy come in who I don't think is there yet totally with his development of being able to read these defenses. And Jay Hill, what we know about him and and his defensive backfield, he's going to confuse you. He's going to confuse you on the stunts, on the front seven, and then he's going to confuse you with the coverages on the back end. And if you've been watching film on it, and then it's totally different, it's hard. And so that's where you see mistakes being made by quarterbacks. And this is a takeaway machine defense. That's what they do. And I think they'll be difficult for him to read for a minute, but all these dudes are athletes. I don't overlook any of these guys who come onto the field and could potentially get something done for this for UCF. Like, you'll see guys you don't even know their names, and you'll be like, that guy's a baller, man. Because he was at Miami for 2 years. You know, like he was like at South Orange High School in Florida. They pick up dudes, man.
Yeah.
They are in one of the best cradles of recruiting that you can be in. And that was Scott Frost's superpower when he was there at UCF before, is just being able to go, hey, I'll take this guy. I see something in him. And there's not enough room at Florida State and Miami for every really good player in the state of Florida. So that's that's what I think is going to happen. Is you're going to see a lot of talent on the field that isn't totally put together yet from a scheme perspective.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how the future looks like with Scott Frost at UCF, because there is that history there. I mean, everybody remembers their claimed national championship from a couple years ago when they made it to the Peach Bowl. Scott Frost was a head coach then, so I'm curious to see if he's able to kind of turn things around there and get back to some semblance of that where they can be competitive and they want to be obviously competitive in this Big 12 conference. So curious to see.
My brother lives in Orlando.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Orlando, and we go down there quite often. And I say quite often, we go down there.
Yeah, lucky you.
You know, every other year. I say quite often. Like, it's way more than I'd go to Florida otherwise. But he lives in Orlando, and obviously, and when that 2017 you brought up Napoles, that the Claim State Championship. Here's how far they took it: is they're putting up billboards. That's one thing. You put up billboards, and you have like hey, we're the national champs, and I could buy a billboard and say I'm a national champ and put it up, in Pleasant Grove. So, but what was funny is there was like a state senator who was just pushing the heck out of getting the official one of the official license plates to be from the state of Florida to say UCF National Champs 2017. And people were like, hey, look, we don't want to bring this kind of noise to ourselves right now. Like, we don't want to have an official license plate with some controversy on it, because who's the kennel club that puts on the ACCP dog club, they crown you national champions, whatever, like official whatever saw them and said they were national champs. Somebody says Utah was the national champ back in 2008. So put that on your license plate, guys.
We're gonna petition for
It is funny how I don't know, for as many problems as there are with this new playoff system, right? Let's not act like the old system wasn't flawed. I don't know. I don't think it was perfect by any means.
It was very.
And I think there were.
The only reason we deal with this, Christian, is because it's this much better. Just that much better. Like,
right.
We'll deal with it because it's like, oh, it's a little bit better than the garbage.
It's funny though because people are like, oh, let's go back to how it used to be before they changed it. No. That was You're living in the past. Like,
I think.
Well, so some guy still runs the BCS computer model. Like, he runs it, and And guess what? We went over it, I think, Napoles this week, and we were going through, and we're like, well, let's see here. This will be when we can prove that BYU and Utah should be higher up. And it was exact freaking same. Like, it was like 2 changes in the. I'm convinced those guys get into the room in Arlington and for the College Football Playoff Committee, and they just run it through the computer and then get a free meal and then go home.
Yeah. Lunch was good today, guys. Yeah, good lunch. We got to take another break, and then coming up on the other side, we will wrap up the BYU pregame hour of College Football Saturday. BYU taking on UCF coming up just about 15 minutes, 11 a.m. kick at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. We will walk you right up to kickoff, so stick with us. College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
If it came down to it, would the committee select a 2-loss Miami team over a 2-loss BYU team? As unfair as I think that would be, yes, they would.
Yeah, they probably would.
So if Miami was a 3-loss team and out of the equation, yes, that does improve BYU's odds.
It's just going to come down to BYU winning the Big 12 title game. Unfortunately, I wish it was more than that. I don't think they're going to get help. I think this late in the season, they're not going to see a lot of help. It's going to come down to BYU controlling their own destiny, which, again, you know what? That's good news. You've put yourself in that situation. Your opportunity is that you're going to go to the Big 12 title game, and if you win, and if the playoff is the most important thing for you, that's your chance. You don't get to back your way in. You're not going to back your way in. You're going to have to win out.
Well, I don't know. We've seen wacky stuff.
Catch Jake and Ben weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Attention Jazz Nation. We know you've been waiting on the edge of your seat, and the time has finally arrived. All tickets are available now. Let's go! Your favorite players will be back on the court, bringing the energy all season long. Whether you're looking for season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, there's a perfect option for every kind of fan. Show up loud and proud at Delta Center this season. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Buy your tickets today at utahjazz.com.
These days, many companies have turned to influencers to tout their products or services. But here at John Watson Chevrolet, the only endorsement we need is from our customers. Because of their feedback, we're proud to be Utah's best reviewed Chevy dealer. Visit us today to see why we get reviews like,
"Their sales team is the best. Didn't put on any pressure, just super helpful and fun. They made the process a breeze."
John Watson Chevrolet, your 5-star Chevy dealer. 3535 Wall Avenue, Ogden. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Utah Mammoth Hockey is back at Delta Center. Don't miss your chance to be part of the excitement as the Mammoth hit the ice all season long. Grab your friends, rally the family, and lock in your seats for the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Great seats are available for most games, but they're selling fast. Head to UtahMammoth.com to get your tickets today. That's UtahMammoth.com. Your home for all things Mammoth Hockey. Bar Dub Grill is where roadside classics meet ranch-raised flavor. Sink your teeth into juicy, handcrafted burgers made with premium Bar W beef straight from the local Utah farm. From the bold cowboy barbecue burger to the sweet and savory Aloha burger, paired with crispy cowboy fries, hand-spun shakes, or signature spud nuts. Soft, airy, and unforgettable. Bar Dub Grill delivers honest eats with cowboy swagger. Bar Dub Grill in Nephi with easy access right off exit 222 in Nephi.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
10 years ago, Les Olson IT set out to do more than fix copiers and printers. We set out to become the IT team Utah businesses count on. Today, we're proud to celebrate a decade as Utah's managed IT service provider, trusted by thousands of local companies for secure, reliable tech support. Thanks for trusting us. Here's to the next 10 years of innovation, protection, and partnership. Visit lesolson.com to learn more.
Les Les Olson IT.
Get the latest Utah sports headlines delivered to your inbox
with the KSL Sports Newsletter.
from the Jazz,
Utah Hockey Club,
BYU,
Utah,
Real Salt Lake, and more.
Be in the know of all things sports in the state of Utah.
Visit KSLSports.com to sign up
For the KSL Sports Newsletter.
The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's your BYU pregame hour of College Football Saturday. BYU set to kick off against UCF coming up in maybe 10 minutes. You never know with these. They never start on time. I hate that.
No, they never do.
I'm Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, Alex Kirry with me, walking you right up to kickoff. In fact, we've got boots on the ground. We've got Alex Kirry joining us live from on his way to Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Want to remind you real quick, at University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. That's University of Utah Health, for you, for life. Fellas, let's hit a quick keys to the game for this one. BYU hosting UCF, senior day, last regular season game of the season. BYU looking for their 11th win. Let's start with you, Napoles. Keys to the game for BYU.
Keys to the game for me for this one, I think obviously you have to have a dominant rushing game, similarly to the way you did last week. They put up 265 last week. I think if you rush for 200 plus this game, if you rely on LJ to bruise a couple people up like he did last week, I think you have a pretty good shot at winning this game. I'm looking at BYU's rushing to be the key to the victory for BYU tonight.
Kirry.
Napoles stole my answer.
I hate that.
No,
that's the fun part about
this. I think he just heard all the wise things I said in the previous segments, and he's like, "I'm going to take some of that."
Yes,
no,
that's what happened.
I think that I'm going to get more specific. And I'm going to say that Bear Bachmeier, has he had you guys have your stuff right in front of you. Has he had a 100-yard rushing game?
He has not. I was looking earlier.
Yeah,
I think he got close. I think he had one in the upper 80s.
Yeah.
He had 98 against Colorado, and then he had 89 against Arizona.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically been there. But I'm going to say first triple-digit official rushing total for Bear Bachmeier. That's a little risky because maybe they want to try to keep him okay, like health-wise. They want to keep him okay. But and you get to that. I think you get to that total by, 18 rushes or so if you're him. And I think that maybe he busts off a couple of decent ones. He's not a guy that's going to kill anybody with speed. His superpower is to do that like 17-yard like little zone read that he does where he just kind of sweeps around the edge there, and that might be the most you can get out of him. But I'm going to vote. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 110-yard rushing day for Bear Bachmeier. If he gets there, BYU owns the clock, and then they roll. And I think that'd be roll relatively. I think they'll control the game, and that'll be what they need to do today.
I am going to wrap this up. I'll say they just got to get a takeaway. I don't think UCF's offense is equipped. If they turn the ball over even once, with how good BYU is offensively and defensively, I don't think UCF can stand losing, even just one possession. So I think just one takeaway. Yeah, plus one
in the takeaway category.
Continuing to BYU plays clean football. I trust in them to take care of business on their end offensively. Defensively or special teams, go get that +1, and they should be sitting pretty. Theoretically.
I like it.
I just need the one.
Kirry, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's great to have somebody on location. That's cool. So enjoy the game, and
hey, hit me up afterward. We'll do this again. We'll do the post game. Hopefully we're talking about how Napoles was right about the run game.
Little teaser there. Alex Kirry will be joining us for the post game. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
All right. We will take a break and then continue on with the show. Kickoff coming up soon for BYU. We've also got eyes on this Pitt-Miami game. That's a big one to keep an eye on. Pitt leads Miami 7-3. Right now, Miami is, I guess, slated to take that spot from BYU. So that's a big one to keep an eye on. We'll see how that goes. And we will have updates for you throughout the day. Also have updates on Texas Tech and what they're doing at West Virginia. This one might get out of hand quickly. So We'll continue on with College Football Saturday next. Stick with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler,
in your car, or at your in-laws.
You want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You have a brother. $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What?
We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Throughout life, we have plenty of special occasions and events, whether it's a prom, a graduation, a mission call, a new job, or how about a wedding. Mr. Mac has always been there to help serve you for all of your monumental moments. Mr. Mac has been family owned for more than 50 years, and that's important. And they'll make sure that you look and feel great with affordability always in mind. The Mr. Mac family creates long-lasting relationships with their customers, and they've been doing it for generations. 9 locations across the Wasatch Front or online at MrMac.com.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah State men's basketball team hosts Montana State on 97.5 The Zone. And as soon as that ends, we'll go right into the Utah Mammoth in St. Louis to play the Blues at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, the Utah Jazz host the Houston Rockets at 1 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. The Raiders and Chargers play at 2:25 on 1280 The Zone. And if you want to hear your company's name here, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com and join the winning team at the KSL Sports Zone.
Calling all Jazz fans. If you can't wait another second to see stars like Ace Bailey and Lowry Markkanen tear up the court, you're in luck. Tickets are on sale now. Let's go! No matter what you're looking for, the Utah Jazz has your back. With season tickets, mini plans, and single game options available, there's something for everyone. Whatever your schedule or budget, there's a plan for every fan. Don't miss a moment of the action this season. Secure your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. counting you down to kickoff. This is College Football Saturday with Christian Esparza and Alex Napoles on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Christian Esparza sitting alongside me as we take you through a day of college football, the final regular season weekend of college football, Christian. I can't believe it's blown by so fast.
It felt like it was slugging along until we probably hit that week 8 or 9 mark.
Yeah.
And then once it hit that, you blink, and then it's over.
I think for me, it was rivalry week.
I guess, yeah, that's right about
That's
right about when that was, I guess. So.
For me, it was rivalry week. It felt like it was, it was going by, and then after the rivalry game happened, I was like, oh, well, we still have a bunch of college football left, and now all of a sudden, here we are, man, final week. And then after this, it's conference championship weekend, man.
Well, it definitely helps that these dogs keep winning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Utah picking up their 10th win of the season last night. BYU looking for win number 11 today. So I think that helps things along. Like last year when Utah was 5-7, it was like daggers in my eyes. Please don't make me watch anymore.
What a week! What a day yesterday of college football too. There was a couple games on Friday. A lot that had to do with top 25 teams. The big one, obviously, being one of the bigger ones in the Big 12. Number 25 Arizona beating 20 Arizona State. That clinches for BYU and Texas Tech. Also happening though in the Big 12, number 13 Utah taking on Kansas, and we did a little bit of a breakdown in the post-game show yesterday. We'll continue to break it down as the Utes walk away with that 31-21 win. And I think for me, after kind of taking some moment to get back and kind of reflect on it and think about it a little bit, it was an ugly game, but I think ultimately I'm not disappointed or I'm not upset about the way Utah performed. I think they did enough to stay in it, and I think we talked about it yesterday. It never felt like this game was out of hand for Utah.
I kind of disagree with you there. I wouldn't say out of hand, but like when Utah went down 10-14 in the second quarter, I definitely was thinking to myself, this should not be happening.
Yeah.
Because that was a Kansas team that had only won 5 games on the year, and Utah had been blowing out other teams, or at least consistently dropping 40 points or 50 points in conference play. And I mean, yeah, it makes one sense to be playing a close game against BYU, but then to be playing a close game against Kansas, that had me worried a little bit. And not only that, but Utah was showing the same defensive struggles that they showed last week against Kansas State. And I had been confident all week that Morgan Scalley and the defense were kind of going to be disappointed in themselves after that Kansas State effort and wanting to turn things around because of how poorly they performed against Kansas State. I never would have thought that they would allow 300 rushing yards against Kansas after giving up 500 against Kansas State. And I'm rounding up, by the way. That's a little exaggerating.
They've allowed about 800 rushing yards to the Kansas schools over a span of 2 weeks.
And remember, this Utah team was second in the Big 12 in rushing defense 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the most disappointing thing. But in my sense, I think it wasn't disappointing in the sense that despite the struggles and despite not being able to stop the run, and allowing Kansas to run on you the similarly way that you saw last week to Kansas State, it never felt like the game was out of hand. It still felt like Utah had pretty good control of the game, despite being down 10-14. It was a little bit concerning that the offense wasn't able to move the ball as efficiently as they've been able to do, but it still never felt like that Utah was out of the game.
Yeah, no, they were never out of it. It was just a lot closer than it ever should have been. Yeah. And it's a weird deal, right? You're traveling across the country to go play on a holiday. You know, that's 2 years in a row now where this Utah team has to play a Black Friday game, which I think is a little ridiculous. Not only are they playing a Black Friday game, they're playing a Black Friday game on the road 2 years in a row.
At 10 a.m. this one.
So I think that's something that definitely will change next year, hopefully. But that's hard, right? These guys don't get to spend time with their family, with their teammates. They got to focus on playing a football game when they should be getting, the day. They should be getting time to celebrate the day. And that's always tough when you're traveling on a holiday to go make it for your 10 a.m. kick in Kansas. So that's tough. But all in all, I mean, they get the win ultimately. And I did like the way that they won. Obviously, big reason for the win is you get the 3 takeaways, 3 interceptions in the red zone, including a pick 6 by Scooby Davis. I thought that was phenomenal. There was a kind of a lull in takeaways there for this Utah defense throughout the season. They started off pretty strong. Obviously, Jackson Benny had 3 straight games with an interception, and then it felt like those takeaways kind of slowed down for a while, and then they picked back up in recent weeks. And yesterday, Smith Snowden got it started with a pick 6 on Kansas's first drive of the game. Yeah. Thought he played a very good game against Kansas State, so it was nice to see him continue that performance into Kansas, starting off the game with an INT. But yeah, Kansas, they were able to get into scoring position. Then they missed a field goal and had 3 interceptions when they were in scoring position. So I thought good effort by the defense yesterday, and that's how they won the game, which is back to, I guess, Utah football, but not in the sense that their rushing defense dominated because they got ran all over. It was just Jalen Daniels threw the game away when it mattered.
There was, going back to that Kansas State game here at Rice Eccles 2 weeks ago, someone who really stood out to me in that game was Smith Snowden, and then good to see Smith Snowden continue to stand out the way that he did yesterday morning as well against Kansas. Has the INT like you mentioned, but then also came up with some big tackles and some big plays, and did the same thing against Kansas State. So I've loved to see the way that Smith Snowden has closed out the season. There was conversations online, right, about Smith Snowden.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah. I think he's had a phenomenal close to the season.
No, I get it. And it's tough when Utah has this pedigree of putting corners into the NFL every single year, and Smith Snowden was a highly rated recruit.
Yeah.
I remember the day that he announced that he was signing with Utah, and he did it here on the station on Hans and Scotty, and that was a big day. And it felt like another big get for the Utes. Because, again, they had been churning out all these DBs, and I don't think it's fair to say that Smith Snowden has disappointed at all. I don't think that's a fair take.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that.
I think you got to realize, like, is he Jalen Johnson? No, but who is, right? Yeah. Like, he has played a lot of really good football for the Utes, and, again, having the back-to-back games to close the regular season the way that he has, it's reminding you that he still is a very good football player, and he's not done, right? He's still got a year left. At least with the Utes. We'll see what happens there. But I like him, man. I think he's tough. He likes to tackle. I think that's a good thing, especially with some of Utah's other DBs don't like to tackle. That's not really an issue with Smith Snowden.
No.
And he's been getting after it lately.
He's had a great close to the season. As far as, he gets the interception, and we're talking about big momentum shifts there for the interceptions for Utah. For Smith Snowden to get in there, for Elijah Davis to get in there, for Jackson Benny to get one again too.
Yeah.
Here's Kyle Whittingham talking about how big those interceptions were for this defense yesterday in that win.
That one and the Scooby Davis pick 6 were huge. Probably would have had another pick 6 if Smith Snowden hadn't fallen down earlier in the game. But 3 interceptions in a game is outstanding, and interceptions are more damaging to an offense than fumbles. It's just statistically proven, and so anytime you can pick a guy off 3 times, your chances of winning are pretty good.
Right, you're right, Coach. If he hadn't tripped over himself, he probably would have housed it. He had nothing but green turf in front of him.
It happens. The turf monster. His legs were still waking up. It was an early game.
As far as the offense goes, it was a slow start for Dampier in that offense, specifically in that first half, man.
Do you think they were just tired from scoring so dang much?
Possibly, man. I wasn't necessarily a fan of how Devin Dampier and that offense came out. Again, just thinking back and reflecting back on that game from yesterday, wasn't necessarily a fan of how Devin Dampier and that offense came out. I thought, and this was a conversation too that I saw online as well, is the underutilization of Wayshawn Parker. We talked about it a little bit in the post game yesterday. Wayshawn Parker starts off the game hot, has 50 yards just in that first drive alone? 57 yards in that first drive alone, and then from there, Utah seemed to kind of get away from the running game.
I don't get it. You've got a dude who I think should easily be getting 20 to 25 carries per game.
Yeah.
They start the game off yesterday, Utah does, with 3 straight run plays with Wayshawn Parker, doing it out of the backfield, out of the wildcat, all these crazy things. 57 yards on 3 runs for the first 3 plays of the game to Wayshawn Parker. He finishes the game with just 12 carries. I don't get it.
And 95 yards.
A quarter of his carries came on that first drive.
Yeah.
And then you don't think that you should be hammering it to him the rest of the game. I don't know what the decision making was like there, but yes, this was a dude who was 160 yards away from a 1,000-yard season as a sophomore. No, I don't think that you should just throw your game script away just to get Wayshawn Parker going, just so he can hit that 1,000 yards. But at the same time, yeah, if he's clearly being efficient, keep feeding him, because these running backs, especially with a tough physical dude, stocky and explosive like Wayshawn Parker is, he's going to get better as the game goes along, you would think. And the defense is going to tire out trying to tackle him. And they just went away from that. They were trying to throw it a lot more with Devin Dampier. Again, started off slow throwing the ball. He did come up with some really good passes later in the game, including touchdown to Larry Simmons. I thought was one of his best passes of the year. Great catch by him. Another kind of breakout game from Larry Simmons. We got the tight ends involved in this one, Bentley and Buchanan. I like those two dudes. So up and down for Utah, but I don't know. It's funny because, like, if you would have told this last year's Utah team, oh, yeah, you're scoring 31 points in the last game of the year, everybody's like, oh, yeah, 31 points, sign me up. But with as good as Utah's offense had been this year, yesterday felt like a letdown.
Yeah. There's positives to take away from it, too, right? With Ryan Davis being out, I love they bring up Larry Simmons because I thought he had some really big catches against Kansas State. Continues it now into this week when just 3 catches, but 97 yards, 40, specifically the 2 late ones, right? The touchdown to in the corner of the end zone, and then you have the one over the top, right? The fake that goes over the top, and he houses it too late in the game. But Larry Simmons stepping up in the absence of Ryan Davis, I think that's a great thing. J.T. Buchanan, Alex Kirry talked about in the last hour. He's phenomenal, man, and I'm excited to see how Utah is able to bring him along and how they're able to develop him, because I think J.T. Buchanan has the skill set to be the next big tight end, right? The next big name tight end to come out of Utah. Love what I've seen from J.T. Buchanan. Devin Dampier in the passing game yesterday was better, I think, but again, struggled to hit Dallin Bentley, who was running down the field, right, and was kind of open and missed him a couple times down the field.
Well, it's hard because you have essentially on the same play, right? Larry Simmons and J.J. Buchanan each had a long touchdown, where it was just a catch and run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Devin Dampier only has to throw the ball 7 or 8 yards downfield, and then those guys house it from there. So that obviously inflates the passing stats. He finishes the day with 253 yards and 3 touchdowns. You take away those 2 plays that were essentially made by the receiver, right? And what does his passing numbers look like without those 2 catch and run plays? So again, there were times where he was trying to take shots, and it's just, that's not the style of offense that I want to see Utah run. That's not the style of offense that got them to their first 9 wins. Why are you trying to do that for your 10th win? And yes, I get that they won the game, and yes, I again will acknowledge that he did have a really good pass to Simmons, but the rest of the game, what are you doing? It's just not who Dampier is, and I don't know why they were trying to force it. 25 passing attempts does not make sense to me. Dampier is not a guy that needs to throw the ball 25 times.
And I don't want to say they completely abandoned the run, but it felt like they completely abandoned the run yesterday.
Well, look at Kansas. Kansas had 51 carries.
Right.
Why can't Utah?
They had 51 carries, and not just that. I mean, this was a team. I know it's hard to consistently average and consistently come out and consistently put up 250 plus the way that Utah has been doing, but I mean, still, Utah was nowhere near that average. Utah was nowhere near being able to put 250 plus on Kansas State. They only finished the day with 161, and so with Wayshawn just carrying it 12 times, Devin Dampier got himself involved in the rushing game, but still only had 50 yards. 161 with 31 carries. It feels low for what we've seen this Utah team do. And really, I mean, aside from that 34-yard rush from Wayshawn Parker, we didn't see any of the explosive runs, any of the big runs that we've seen Utah do over the course of the last couple weeks.
Part of that is because Bird Ficklin struggled yesterday, and I know he only finished with what was it, 2 carries for 7 yards, but he lost a fumble. And it seemed like after that, Kyle Whittingham's like, you know what? Get ready to learn Utah football, buddy. If you put the ball on the ground, you're leaving the game, dude. And I get it.
Back.
I get it because you got to teach them when they're young. But that explosiveness was lacking because Bird Ficklin has consistently put up those 50, 60-yard touchdown runs when he gets his name called. So that was absent from yesterday's game. I do want to hear what Kyle Whittingham had to say because we didn't get to hear him in the post game yesterday. We did not hear the sound because it was a away game. I want to hear what Kyle Whittingham had to say himself about what the struggles were offensively.
Kansas was playing good defense. Hopefully the cold didn't bother us. I mean, that would be a weak excuse if that was the deal, but we just never got into a real rhythm. Devin is still not himself. I mean, you can see that. Look at some tape early in the year when he's himself, and now, and he's just not quite able to do the things he did early on. But offense did enough. We still had over 400 yards, but we're just used to having more from the offense this year. Just wasn't our most productive game offensively.
You know, Alex, I could go the rest of my life without having to hear about a Utah quarterback being injured. It's good that Dampier's out there and playing, and he's doing great things, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to undermine what Devin Dampier has done for Utah this year. Getting this team to 10 wins. He has started 9 of those 10 games. But every single week, it's like, oh, he didn't perform as good as he could have because he's hurt. And I get it. I do. But so is everybody else. And I just don't know if that's something you can keep leaning on. And I'm tired of it. And maybe partially because of the whole Cam Rising thing, but like this injury thing, man, I don't know. You got to play through it. And he is playing through it. And I want to give credit to Devin Dampier for allegedly playing through whatever injury he's going through, right? But at some time, you got to stop bringing that up.
Yeah. I think ultimately too, when it comes to that situation, right, with the questions on Dampier's health and the ankle and him not being fully 100%, I think if you ask any Utah fan though, I think they'll take this over what was.
Well, obviously, yeah.
With the last 2 years.
Yeah.
With the is he going to, is he not going to play, referring to Cam Rising, with him sitting out the entire 2023 season. And then obviously, of course, unfortunately, last year, season cut short because of the cooler incident, the Gatorade cooler incident. And then from there, we talked about it too at the beginning of the season. It was time to move on, and they have moved on. And I think you'll take this situation over that any day of the week.
Well, and the word around the street is that it's an ankle injury that's been bugging him for 2 months since that Wyoming game.
Yep.
So that's always the reason why he has not been able to throw the ball well. Well, you know what you can do with the bum ankle? You can hand the ball off. Like, that's what I don't get. If he's hurt this much and it really is affecting his ability to throw the ball, hand it off to Wayshawn Parker. We have not seen Nakari Rogers hardly at all for like a month and a half. Give him the ball. Give the ball to Daniel Bray. Like, hand it off to all of these running backs. Hand the ball off to Nate Johnson.
Even Daniel Bray didn't get involved yesterday.
No,
which I thought was interesting. Right, Daniel Bray became a big spark on the offense, and then yesterday just limited to the 1 carry.
Again, they just abandoned the run game. Yeah. Devin Dampier had 11 carries. Wayshawn Parker had 12. 25 passing attempts. So that's why I keep pointing those numbers, because it doesn't add up. Like, if he's hurt and it's affecting him, then stop doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A win's a win, and I know Utah fans should be happy with win number 10, and that's great. And we talked about this yesterday. Like, this is what I come up with, 5th or 6th 10-win season for Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah,
10-win regular season for Kyle Whittingham, and that's still pending a bowl game, which is, again, that's a special year. This is a year that Utah fans are going to remember, and they need to remember, because it is their second year in the Big 12, and I mean, you can kind of almost put an asterisk next to last year because of all the crazy stuff that went down. So this was the year where Utah football was able to say, like, yeah, look what we can do in this conference.
Right.
And I think that's a big deal. And that's what I want to take away from yesterday, yes, but this season as a whole for the Utes is, no matter what happens, I mean, they're not going to make the Big 12 championship. That's official. Chances are incredibly slim to make the college football playoff. So those are basically out of reach now And a lot of people are going to be disappointed with that, but who cares? I get that would be a amazing accomplishment, but that's not what you set out to do this year. You set out to right the ship, get back on track, prove Kyle Whittingham still has it, and you did all of those things. With no doubt either.
Right. And I think that's the most important thing too, coming into this season, right? Is after the disappointment that was last season, you have to come back. You had to come back and establish yourself. If you were truly going to be a true contender in this conference, you had to make a statement this season. And I think with the 10 wins, a 10-win season, despite falling short of what I'm sure the players' goal was to make a conference championship game, despite falling short of what's potentially of potentially making it to a college football playoff, I still think that there is a lot to be proud of, and I think that the seniors have now laid a great foundation for all the young guys who you anticipate to return for Utah in the coming years, right? For them to establish themselves and make Utah a brand again in this conference and say, hey, we are here to compete. Because if we're sitting here and we're talking about another 5-7 season for Utah, another season where you miss a bowl game, the conversation's completely different, right?
Yes.
The conversation's completely different. Winning matters, and now you've sent a message, and I think that message is, hey, we're here and we're going to compete.
This is what Kyle Whittingham had to say about that. He was asked about it, and he kind of thought that last year might have been his last go around at times, right? And it's understandable because it was just so tiring on everybody. But then, of course, he does decide to run it back and get the 10 wins this year. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, well, it's huge, and I thought about maybe last year being the last go around, but it couldn't, as I've said many times, I just couldn't stomach ending on that. We needed to right the ship, get things headed back in the right direction, and I believe we've certainly done that this year.
I think too, man, just listening to that and remembering the cuts, we made last season of Kyle Whittingham and thinking back to some of the comments he made right post game, there was times where he just sounded he too sounded dejected. He too sounded like
he wanted it to be over.
Right. So again, to go from this might potentially be my last year, but we finished 5-7. Like, I can't end on that. I'm coming back, and now to just have the 10 wins. Great bounce back from Kyle Whittingham, and this is the type of high that I think that you can feel okay with stepping aside.
Wow, look at that, getting a little prophetic.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand, and we mentioned it last night. Like, would not be surprised either way. I truly feel like it's a coin flip. If, you could look at it like, man, we just got 10 wins this year and we were this close to making the conference championship and the college football playoff. Why would I not want to come back?
Right.
You could easily look at it that way. Or you could look at it the way as, yeah, I can rest now. I turned this team around. I got these guys back on track. I laid the groundwork. Everything is set up. I wouldn't want my friend Morgan Scally to take over a 5-7 football team with an uncertain future. I want to get this ship back on track so my friend can take that over. That's a big deal, right? I think that means a lot. So, yeah, if he does feel like it's in a good place now for Scally to take it over, it would make sense for him to step away. So we will see. We did talk about also with the transfer portal window being in January, and it's just a single transfer portal window, how that might affect the decision making. And then, of course, when a coach leaves or retires or whatever, that opens up a transfer portal window, a 30-day window. So for Utah, it might be in their best interest to line those windows up.
Yeah, try to line it up as best as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So then that way you don't give the opportunity for any more guys to leave than.
I thought that was a great point by you. I think I had not even thought about that, but
yes, there is a deadline in which Kyle Whittingham has to inform people of his decision. So we'll see. I can't remember when that deadline is, but we'll see if they can try to match that up as much as they possibly can to avoid losing more players than you necessarily need to.
Well, regardless, I mean, the season is not over for the Utes. They're still going to have a bowl game.
Right.
We don't know which bowl. Probably going to be in late December, so they're going to have about a month to prepare for that. I am curious to see what happens with that, as far as guys like Spencer Fano, guys like Caleb Lomu, who... Well, I mean, Fano's gone, right? He's going to be the first offensive tackle taken. So does he play in the bowl game? Caleb Lomu's a guy who's like borderline first-round pick. Does he play in the bowl game, or does he decide to come back?
I think both. I think both of them will opt out, and I don't think you can blame them. Right? They're already projected to be first-round picks. There's no. I mean, looking at it from a player's perspective, like I get it. Like you want to be out there, you want to play your one final ride with your boys, one final ride with your guys. But I just don't think there's, you've been able to make it to this point of the season without any major injuries, without any major injury scares. Right? There was the one last week, right, where Fano goes to the tent, but he's able to come back, which is phenomenal for Utah. But and I like I said, I get you want to go out there for one final ride with your boys, but the reality is, I don't think anyone can blame them for opting out, and I don't think anyone can blame them for making sure that they're good for that draft.
Well, and it's hard for fans. Yeah, it's hard for fans too because they want to see their guys play.
Right.
And I get that people like to call these guys soft for sitting games out, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why people do this because, if you're Spencer Fano and you tear your ACL playing a bowl game when you've already wrapped up, essentially the bowl game doesn't mean anything anymore, right? Yep. That's just the reality of what college football is. So if you tear your whatever in a meaningless game and potentially ruin your draft stock, that would be horrible. So, I totally get it.
I am curious, though, to see how meaningless the meaningless bowl for Utah will be. Right?
What do you mean?
Because some of them are more meaningless than others.
Why, they get a Pop-Tart mascot?
Some of them are more meaningless than others.
They get a Pop-Tart death ritual following the game?
Exactly,
Do they mean anything?
No. In this day and age of college football, no. But I feel like for Utah, it still means something because of what is the biggest storyline heading into the offseason, right? Which is going to be, does Kyle Whittingham come back? Does he not? And being able to turn it around from where you were last season.
Utah hasn't won a bowl game since.
There you go.
2017.
2017, the Heart of Dallas Bowl.
So it is an important game, I guess, from that perspective. But specifically for Spencer Fano / Caleb Lomu / whoever, how important is it? I don't know. Again, similar to Kyle Whittingham, like I would not blame them either way. I would just hate to see it go worst case scenario.
Real quick, too, one more cut hearing from Kyle Whittingham, just what his plans are for the future as he takes time to reflect.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be spread eagle on the couch laying there just watching college football and seeing what happens. Maybe clothed, maybe not clothed, I don't know. But it takes some time to decompress and to reflect. And, we may have a game next week. Who knows? And so right now is not the time to really comment on that or even think about it yet. But, everyone knows that's out there, and we'll see what happens. But right now I'm having a heck of a time coaching this team. It was a fun year and not quite over yet. We've got a little more football left.
There you go. Kyle Whittingham, a little bit more football left.
Sitting on the couch spread eagle.
I love it.
That's going to be me in about an hour.
Oh, me too. Actually... No, because we still have the post-game show, so I don't want to...
Well, I'll keep my clothes on.
Hey, caller number 12 right now. We got some tickets to give away. Caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. Wins 4 tickets to Monday's Jazz versus Rockets game at the Delta Center. So caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. 4 tickets to Monday's Jazz versus Rockets game at Delta Center for the Utah Jazz. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll talk more college football. We'll talk Utah State as they have a heartbreaker up there at Maverick Stadium against Boise State. We'll talk college football. There was a big upset that could change the outlook of what this college football playoff might be, and of course, we'll catch you up on all the scores and everything going on in the world of college football. That's coming up on the other side here on College Football Saturday on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Pirie, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
From the first twinkle on Temple Square to the last toast of the night, make your holidays shine. 10 floors up. The roof is now open. Perched high above the city in the historic Joseph Smith Memorial Building, every table feels like a front row seat to the season. The anticipation is over, just in time for your merriest gatherings and special occasions. Now with an all-new design and an a la carte menu that wraps Utah favorites in a festive bow. Share a plate of our house-made Utah scone, pass the reimagined funeral potato bites, slice into your perfectly cooked steak, then stop and linger over local honey-drizzled desserts, berry cobbler, and chocolate pudding that tastes like holiday magic. The delicious menu doesn't stop there. Why not try our birria short rib, pork ossobuco, maple glazed salmon, shrimp scampi, and our fried chicken mac and cheese. All dishes made to celebrate togetherness. Elevate your traditions literally. Preview the new menu and reserve your holiday table at theroofslc.com. This is The Roof, where the holidays taste like home.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
If you're getting new gutters, make absolutely sure that you don't get screwed. I mean literally, don't get screwed. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And every single gutter company out there uses screws to hold their gutters together at the corners and downspouts. They use screws because they're fast and cheap and easy. But man, they're terrible for your gutters, aside from possibly cutting your hand. They also loosen and corrode over time because they're not made from the same metal as the gutters. At RGS Exteriors, we've been installing gutters for 70 years now, and we don't use screws. We only use permanent, strong, and unobtrusive rivets. They're made from the same material as the gutters, so they won't oxidize, and they won't corrode. They'll also never loosen. Your hand is safe too. Did I mention they look amazing? So don't get screwed. Call RGS and get riveted gutters. Our number is 801-280-3110, or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110, or rgsutah.com.
The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
Accessing. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
Joining us now, Ian Fitzsimmons.
Hans, Crazy Wings, George's. Did you hit it?
I didn't get to hit it, man. We ended up at the Brazos Grill. I got their chicken fried steak, but they did have these thing called the armadillo balls at the Brazos River that was really good, but it's not the Crazy Wing.
Can you go ahead and just lift hands saying they did have these things called armadillo balls, which were really good?
I feel like Chevy Chase in the movie Funny Farm.
You polish off that plate and you break the record.
Stand back, everybody. The record falls tonight.
Now, there's a man who knows when he's got something good in his mouth.
On that, a mic drop. Bam. Done.
Catch Hans and Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Counting you down to kickoff. This is College Football Saturday with Christian Esparza and Alex Napoles on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles with me. Running you through another Saturday of college football. BYU underway at home against UCF. Sound the alarms, guys. BYU down 14-0. 14-0. UCF scored on their first 2 drives. BYU had to punt. They are driving now, just moved into opponent territory. Let's get to some other scores around the country. Number 1, Ohio State at number 15, Michigan. Ohio State leads 10-9. Texas Tech at West Virginia. They lead 28-0. No surprise there. The big one for all the Cougar fans to keep their eye on, number 12, Miami at number 22, Pitt. Miami leads 17-7. Halftime just started there. So that is, of course, the big one to keep an eye on for the college football playoff picture, wanting Miami to lose. But looking at this BYU game, it is senior day. Earlier this week, BYU released a list of 18 seniors that would be recognized. They added 4 more names to that list, 4 underclassmen. Big names sticking out. I'm not going to go through all 22 names, but Jack Kelly, Maury Bamba, some of these guys that you know are seniors, Austin Leusa, Waylon Lapuaho, Chase Roberts, Carson Ryan, but then some of the underclassmen that were added to this list, Isaiah Glasker, LJ Martin, Keanu Tanavasa, and Sam Vanderhaar.
Interesting.
So just because they are being honored today does not mean that they won't come back. You never know what the deal is with eligibility these days, but interesting to see some of these guys getting honored that may or may not come back. I mean, they've all done great things for this Cougars program, so I get it.
And it makes sense, too. I think it was Kyle Whittingham who said it last week, right? Even if they're on the fence or uncertain about whether or not they're coming back, they encourage them to walk.
Yeah.
They encourage everybody to walk. So then they at least get that opportunity. So
worst case, you get 2 Minky blankets.
Exactly. So in the case of guys like LJ, guys like Keanu, those underclassmen who walked, it's not for certain whether or not they'll come back, but we'll see, man.
Let's touch on this BYU game a little bit. I mean, giving us some content to talk about while it's live. What's going on? Why are they down 14-0? Well, of course, not being able to stop them on their first drive was a little worrying. Yeah. They gave up a 26-yard pass that got UCF in a territory early, but we were so adamant in the BYU pregame hour. You got to take this team seriously.
Yep.
You can't look at the record and say, "Oh, they're 5-6. We're going to roll this game at home. Last game of the season. We've got this wrapped up. Don't even worry about it."
Yeah. First of all, that touchdown drive from UCF, you take 5:33 off the clock, right? You get the ball back, and what do you do with the first snap? You fumble it.
BYU fumbled the first snap.
Yep. They recover their own, right? Bear Bachmeier is able to
That's a waste of a down.
on it, but you've already lost it down, and you end up with negative 10 yards on your first drive. You have to punt it away, and then immediately they come down the field and score again. Not a great start to BYU, and that ultimately gives me the feeling of maybe we're not taking this game as serious as we probably should be right now.
Well, it is hard because so your opponent starts with the ball. You have a miscue that totally throws off your first drive.
Yep.
And then you go 3 and out. And then your opponent gets the ball and scores again. So I get that, yes, the offense needs to perform better. They can't go 3 and out. But also, your defense should not be allowing 14 points on 2 drives to this UCF team.
Yeah.
Got to see the defense step up here. That's the most disappointing thing. Early stats real quick. Taven Jackson, 10 of 12 for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's like a regular game stat line for him. And the first quarter's not even over. We are 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Hey, credit to UCF though, man. They've come out, they've punched BYU in the mouth a little bit, and they're taking advantage of BYU's slow start. First quarter just ended, they're up 14-0, so I'm sure they're getting an earful from the coaching staff as far as BYU goes. Get an earful from their coaching staff right now during the break to wake up a little bit.
And they are driving, right? As you mentioned, it is the quarter break, but on their current drive, they're moving good. They've moved the ball 46 yards across 6 plays. So currently sitting at the UCF 19-yard line, they are in the end zone. Hopefully they can punch this one in.
Carson Ryan just had a big 26-yard catch and run to get them into UCF territory. But, Christian, the game time decision of Chase Roberts comes down to no. Chase Roberts in street clothes. Not available for BYU in this one.
I get it. It sucks because it's senior day,
Right.
but you got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
You have Texas Tech next week.
You got to be 100% for that game.
Get healthy.
Or as close to 100% as you possibly can be for
Yeah.
that game. Especially after what happened, right? When you went down to Lubbock. The inability to move the ball there, you're going to need every single weapon, including Chase Roberts, and so you want Chase Roberts to be as close to 100 as you can for that rematch. BYU though, again 14-0 down at the end of the first quarter. We've seen this team answer adversity time and time again. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure they're getting an earful from the coaching staff right now. So I'm excited to see what BYU is able to do as they come back out for the second quarter.
Conspiracy theory time. Do you think BYU is going to lose today on purpose so then they could be like fired up going into next week?
No, and I think mostly just because right now you cannot. I know you're clinched. I know you're going to be in Arlington next week, no matter what happens. But you cannot afford a loss as far as the college football playoff picture looks right now.
Yeah.
You just can't afford it. Especially, you gave the scoreboard update. Miami's up 17-7. That's a team right behind you that's licking their chops now, trying to get ahead of you, trying to
the committee wants them in.
And the committee seems to be doing everything they can to try to get Miami in. You look at a team yesterday like Texas who had a big upset. Where does Texas? They're at 16. Where do they land after all this, right? And I'm sure a loss from BYU, from the number 11 team, they'll be looking to move up too if this result holds. So you just cannot afford a loss right now if you're BYU.
No, you gotta win this game, and I know that it's not gonna. This game's outcome does not affect your Big 12 championship standing. So theoretically, even if you lose this game, you still can get in with the win over Texas Tech next week. But you don't want to have to bank on that. You want to put out every single good performance that you can. So then next week you can go in and just play some dang football, man.
Right.
Play some really good football.
Less of a distraction, maybe less pressure too in that situation, right? Where you are able to control your outcome, rather than if BYU goes into Arlington and falls short, you're leaving it a lot more up to chance there, and so you cannot afford this loss if you're BYU.
There you go, LJ Martin with the touchdown. Can't give play-by-play, so I won't say how he got it. But
they pull him back though. That's a good thing. And again, this goes back to BYU. They've faced adversity time and time again throughout the season. Right, they were down against Colorado. They had to come back against Arizona. They had to come back against Iowa State. It's right. So it's not an unfamiliar position for BYU to be in. So it bodes well that LJ is able to pull one back.
Yeah, and this Cougar team, I mean, that's the mentality they have as a team with Bear Bachmeier. And he's just been like that all year. He's tough as nails, doesn't let things faze him. So, of course, a lot of football left to go. We've got 13:30 left in the second quarter. But, BYU's on the board after completely throwing away their first drive of the game, going 3 and out with that fumble. So,
yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit of a weird structured show today. I mean, BYU is underway. Utah is already done, so no keys to the game next segment. Let's talk a little Utah State football, losing a heartbreaker 1-point loss at home to Boise State in the last game of the season. We'll just touch on that next. Stay with us. College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here we go again.
Joined now by Bronco Mendenhall, head coach of the Utah State Aggies.
This is the time of season where you're looking at roster retention and also recruiting. What are your thoughts on having to do all that at a time when the most important thing is charged to win the next game?
It's a really unique landscape. There's tampering, no question. It's against the rules, but the rules aren't enforced. We've got 3 more games left, but players have been reached out to. There's some phantom hotline that you're supposed to be able to call where something happens, which that's just nonsense.
Phantom hotline?
Telling it like it is. As usual.
Phantom hotline.
The reality is programs with as much money as they have will take who they want in the manner that's supposed to be illegal, but not. Most are smart enough to stay one step away from a true family member. But yeah, it happens.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insured.
Hey, Utah! Are you ready for the Utah Mammoth to hit the ice? From game-winning goals to behind-the-scenes moments, Mammoth Plus brings the action to you all season long. Whether you're at home, on the go, or in the stands, don't miss a single shift. Visit UtahMammothPlus.com and start streaming today. That's UtahMammothPlus.com. Every game, every goal, live on Mammoth Plus. Bar Dub Grill is where roadside classics meet ranch-raised flavor. Sink your teeth into juicy, handcrafted burgers made with premium Bar W beef straight from the local Utah farm. From the bold cowboy barbecue burger to the sweet and savory Aloha burger, paired with crispy cowboy fries, hand-spun shakes, or signature spud nuts. Soft, airy, and unforgettable. Bar Dub Grill delivers honest eats with cowboy swagger. Bar Dub Grill in Nephi with easy access right off exit 222 in Nephi. Attention Jazz Nation, the long wait is finally over. Mountain basketball is back and better than ever. Let's go! All tickets are on sale now, and you won't want to miss the action. Jump on the opportunity to watch your favorite players live and in person. Whether you're after season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, the Utah Jazz has got your back. There's a plan for every fan. Don't miss out. Secure your seats today and be part of the excitement all season long. Let's go! Visit UtahJazz.com today.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Stay up to date with everything Utah Jazz related with the new Jazz Notes newsletter. Get draft updates, analysis, and be the first to know about every off-season move. Visit KSLSports.com to sign up for the Jazz Notes newsletter.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Are your kids picky eaters? Bring them in and try our chicken fingers or a grilled cheese sandwich. They'll be smiling big in no time. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Counting you down to kickoff. This is College Football Saturday with Christian Esparza and Alex Napoles on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
College Football Saturday, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Christian Esparza sitting alongside me as we walk you through another edition of College Football Saturday at University of Utah Health. Hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uvuhealth.org. University of Utah Health, for you for life. Christian, let's real quick hit on this Utah State Aggies team. Definitely meeting exceeding expectation, right? They make a bowl game this season, and they had a shot at going 7-5 this year at home. They were undefeated at home under Bronco Mendenhall prior to this game against Boise State, but unfortunately yesterday just fall a point short of the Broncos.
Yeah, and that one really freaking stings because it's Boise State.
Right.
And they haven't beat them in so long, and you were set up in really good position.
You were leading for most
You
of the
were
game.
leading entering the fourth quarter, 24-19. Boise State did score with 2.5 minutes left. And ultimately, the Broncos scored there. Utah State got the ball back. They had to punt it away. They did force another punt by Boise State, so Utah State give themselves another chance.
Yeah.
With 24 seconds left on the clock, they weren't able to get into field goal position. They didn't have any timeouts left. Bryson Barnes, though, continues to just have a phenomenal year, right? Last night he had another 89 yards rushing and another touchdown. I saw a highlight play where he trucked like 3 Broncos defenders with one hit. A lot of people have been lobbying for him to win Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know if they'd give it to a player on a team with only 6 wins, but man, that would be huge because Bronco Mendenhall here, by the way, not Boise State Broncos. Coach Mendenhall has just absolutely gushed about how perfect Bryson Barnes is for him, and he loves him.
Yes. It's going to be unfortunate to see Bryson Barnes move on, right? He's not have eligibility. They still obviously have the bowl game, so they'll have one more run potentially with Bryson. But curious to see how they move on from that. Bryson's been a big part and a big key as to why this Utah State team has been so successful, about why this Utah State team got to 6-6 and is now bowl eligible. Curious to see what the future looks like for Utah State at the quarterback position.
He might be able to come back. I know he's a senior, but I think he redshirted. Would he be able to count his first year as a redshirt? I think he did.
Oh, I don't know.
He only had 2 passing attempts. So we'll see. It's unknown.
It's unknown. We'll see.
You never know. And maybe there is, even if he does have eligibility, there is the chance that he would just want to be done. I mean, that happens, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know with this.
As far as the Bronco first year, phenomenal to get them to a bowl game. I think definitely puts. I think the goal and the expectation for year one is probably bowl game. You get to that, and so now again, it's baby steps. It's improving by season by season, and so this is a great start for Utah State. A great way to hopefully position yourself to be contenders in what's going to be the new Pac-12 for Utah State.
This is the last year, right?
This is the last year.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Entering the new conference, and that's just all going to be a mess as far as, they're going to want to be called a power conference, and that they're not. So can't wait to see what that brings. But yeah, Utah State has positioned themselves in to be one of those teams as the new conference is starting up, they're going to be one of the premier programs in that conference. And yes, they're still going to be behind Boise State, but I feel good about Utah State going into it. I don't feel like they're going to be struggling right off the bat, and that's important.
It seems, I think they just hired and put the right people in the right positions, right? I've heard those conversations with the athletic director pregame that Scott Gerard does, and he sounds like he has a good vision for Utah State. Obviously, Bronco, wherever Bronco goes, Bronco wins, and so I think that they have the right people in the right positions to get Utah State to where they need to go to be one of those contending teams in the Pac-12. So I'm excited for the future of Utah State football. I'm excited to see what Bronco's able to do. Heartbreaking way to end that game, though. Bryson Barnes gets the first down, rushes for 16, but then there's a penalty that pushes you back behind the line. You get a 20-yard pass down the field that's just short of the first down, and then, they did call it first down, but then as the clock stops, as you're getting set, Bryson Barnes with a second left snaps the ball, balls out. They get it down to the 29, Christian. But there's just no time to kick the field goal.
Oh.
The clock's at 00, man. They got it down to the 29-yard line, but there's just unfortunately no time left on the clock for Utah State to attempt the field goal, man.
A 1-point loss, man.
Heartbreaking way to end the season. But again, still a bowl game to be played for Utah State, so we'll see where they end up as far as the bowl game goes, and we'll see where things land for Utah State. BYU just missed a field goal.
Farron. Evan Johnson got the pick. That was my key to the game for BYU, getting the takeaway. But then they squander it. They not only can they not score, they missed a field goal, so it is still 14-7 UCF. So we'll see how this game turns out. Not a very good start for the Cougars. We'll see if they wake up. Maybe they are still struggling from a Thanksgiving hangover or something. I know I am.
10 minutes left to go in the second, and that's where we'll end things, Christian. Thanks for joining us, man, and we'll see what next week holds for us.
Yeah, not sure what as far as College Football Saturday goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Uncertain about our future. But we still have a post-game show, too.
Absolutely. Remember to catch the post-game show tonight immediately following the game with Christian Esparza and myself. We'll be on air and live streaming on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and KSLSports.com. Again, that is the post-game show immediately following the conclusion of this BYU-UCF game. Big thank you to Sean Croshaw behind the glass, pushing the buttons, making the magic happen. And working double duty, also pulling the highlights and helping us throughout the course of the show. So with that, this has been another edition of College Football Saturday here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler,
in your car, or at your in-laws.
You want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial